Cast of Gossip Girl reacts to Michelle Trachtenberg's passing. As tributes pour in from Michelle Trachtenberg's Gossip Girl co-stars, new details emerge, suggesting there's more to her sudden passing than initially reported. Even the 911 call itself raises more questions than answers.
Unresponsive female, approximately 30 years old, device location as EDP history, and EMS is about 20 minutes out.
EDP history, noted in the dispatch call, stands for emotionally distressed person.
Initial reports cite liver disease, but is that the full story? Or could there be something deeper?
It is obviously a stunning piece of news for Hollywood, but the fact that she is so young is what's shocking to people, but we've done some digging here and found out some things that she's been going through that may shed some light on this.
Speaking of tributes from Gossip Girl co-stars, no surprise, but Blake Lively is under fire, again. Fans are fuming over Blake's allegedly self-serving tribute to Michelle. If you read between the lines, it's easy to see why Michelle's fans are outraged. But before diving into Blake's latest controversy, we must properly honor Michelle, who passed at just 39 years old, and shared touching tributes from her co-stars. The world first fell in love with her at just 10 years old when she played the ever-iconic, too smart for her age Harriet the Spy.
Certain way, and she's experiencing things that are just like reality, you know? And I saw a lot of myself in her because we have a lot of things in common, like we both love to read and write, we wear the same clothing, like baggy jeans, like jeans, you know? And we eat the same foods, tomato sandwiches.
Mom, I can't help it if I know what I like, and I know that I like.
Even before that, Michelle was no stranger to cameras, starring in countless commercials and making guest appearances on shows like Law & Order and All My Children.
I saw you in Pete and Pete in about 9 trillion commercials. When was the first commercial you did?
My first commercial was whisk detergent commercial.
How old were you?
I think I was like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Then, of course, she won even more hearts as Dawn Summers, Buffy the Vampire Slayer's younger sister.
What are you doing here?
Buffy, if you're going out, why don't you take your sister?
Mom!
But perhaps her most iconic role was playing Gossip Girl's real villain. And no, not Blake Lively's character. Obviously, I'm talking about the dark, wicked Georgina Sparks.
Stop going for the heart. Go for the jugular. Georgina is actually my favorite character that I've played because she's such an evil it was fun.
Bless us, Father. I have a feeling we're about to sin.
While fans, friends, and co-stars mourn her sudden passing, internet theories swirl, suggesting her death may not be as straightforward as it seems. Some even suspect foul play. The 911 dispatch call, in particular, has raised eyebrows.
Unresponsive female, approximately 30 years old, device location as EDP history, and EMS is about 20 minutes out.
EDP history, noted in the dispatch call, stands for emotionally distressed person.
For those following the case, Michelle appeared frail and exhausted in recent social media posts. Fans pointed it out, commenting, "All the flags in this photo and nobody wondering. Pensive face, the hair, the bones, the skin." Some speculated her frail look was linked to substance use or mental health struggles.
When I do look at social media, which is challenging, it's so kind of crazy to me.
Now we know Michelle suffered liver problems and had a liver transplant in 2024, which explains her appearance. Yet internet sleuths can't ignore one key detail: the emotionally distressed person heard in that eerie dispatch call. Did Michelle secretly battle mental health struggles? And another question bugs fans: why did her family refuse an autopsy? Officially, her cause of _____ remains undetermined. Religious reasons may explain it.
Michelle and her family are Jewish, and according to the very brief research that I did, quote, Jewish law generally prohibits autopsies, but there are some exceptions. Jewish law views autopsies as desecrating the body. Scripture prohibits disfiguring the body after death, and the body must be buried in its entirety.
But many aren't buying it, insisting something doesn't add up. Just days before, she was reportedly healthy and in good spirits.
also spoken to people close to her who tell us that she was out on the town in New York City as early as last Thursday, out with friends. She went to an Italian restaurant down in Soho. So within the last week, she was in good enough condition to leave her apartment and go out and spend time with friends.
Right, that's pretty shocking, right? I mean, you would think if somebody was in such bad condition that they would die less than a week later.
Right, that she was
be able to go out.
Then again, conflicting reports say the opposite.
Michelle had opened up to a close circle and, quote, told friends she was struggling with health issues and really, really sick. In fact, she was so unwell that when she went out to dinner in New York City last week, she couldn't walk downstairs. A friend of the 39-year-olds shares that Michelle ultimately, quote, knew that death was a high possibility.
These contradictions fuel the burning question. Is there more to Michelle Trachtenberg's passing than meets the eye? Fans aren't letting this go. Cover up. Another Hollywood mystery. This is very suspicious. What does the family know that they won't say? I want answers now. Sadly, there may always be more questions than answers in this tragic case. All we can do is honor Michelle's memory and celebrate her life. That's exactly what her co-stars are doing, with tributes pouring in from Sarah Michelle Gellar, Alison Hannigan, and even Rosie O'Donnell. But I know you're dying to hear how Blake Lively
Told our little secret. That's the way you want to play it? That's how we'll play it.
No, I'm not afraid of you anymore.
Well, you should be.
landed herself in hot water, again. So let's jump into the gossip and break it all down.
So for Blake to take this moment and make it about her, and this is what I'm saying, Blake Lively knows, she's smart enough to know that if she wrote about Michelle today, she would take attention and make it about her. Because look at us, we're sitting here and I'm making a video about it, instead of just keeping it about Michelle. She didn't even wait a day. She didn't even wait a day, but that's Blake Lively for you. It's so typical, it's so expected, and if you know her, which I think we've all gotten to know her really, really well during this case, this is not shocking.
Well, Blake can't win, no matter what. Posting to her Instagram stories, she shared a tribute to Michelle, but fans immediately tore it apart. Here's what she said, but fair warning, it's a long one.
Don't think the words bold and yummy were an accident here, because we know that Blake Lively had her text message. It was a deliberate decision to use the words bold and yummy in this tribute so that should that text message get pulled into question, they can reference this tribute that she wrote to her old friend Michelle, who I hear didn't even like Blake Lively and they did not get along on the set.
And then the post just keeps going and going. But why is everyone so eager to tear Blake apart? Well, for starters, countless social media comments all echo the same sentiment, which boils down to this. Blake Lively wrote, she faced authority head-on when she felt something was wrong. I think this whole post is really Blake trying to make herself look good, not Michelle. They were definitely not friends on set, because as Blake herself notes, Michelle was a kind person. Something Blake knows nothing about. But of course, she has enough people in her corner to spit out phrases that make her sound remotely intelligent and caring. But there's way more to this saga, and it only gets juicier. Here's the real kicker. Sharp-eyed critics, closely following the Blake versus Justin legal fiasco, have dug up an old text Blake sent to Justin, a pretty damning text, by the way, that his lawyer could possibly use to tear Blake's claims apart. And here's that message. I'll just skim through the important bits. But fair warning, it's cringe. If you knew me, in person, longer, you'd have a sense of how floaty and yummy the ball-busting will play. It's my love language. Spicy and playfully bold, never with teeth. Wait, did she seriously say never with teeth? Is that some dirty innuendo for, okay, let's just leave it at that. Anyway, this message makes it clear Blake was openly and unapologetically flirty with Justin Baldoni. And, of course, his lawyer might just use it to completely expose her. But here's where it all connects. Critics now believe Blake shamelessly used Michelle Trachtenberg's passing as the perfect opportunity to cover her own scandal. And how? Well, take another look at Blake's tribute message. Pay attention to these specific words, bold and yummy.
But then I got a DM from someone who was Michelle's friend. And this is where the lies get exposed. I'm going to keep the source anonymous, but this was someone in Michelle's life. It says, the audacity. I knew she was going to post something acting like they were friends. Michelle couldn't stand Blake. I said, oh my God, what do you know? She said, nothing too crazy. It was just that Michelle was a real actor who had been acting for a long time, and she couldn't stand the way Blake didn't respect any part of it, especially other people's time, and the fact that she was always holding up set. Blake wasted everyone's time. Michelle did not like having her time wasted, and rightfully so.
And yeah, it turns out Michelle really didn't like Blake. And this isn't just gossip or speculation. Take it from someone very close to Michelle, who had this to say.
Remember when all of the Buffy drama went down with Joss Whedon? Many former Buffy the Vampire Slayers came out and made bold accusations against the show's creator and executive producer, Joss Whedon. Leading that charge was Buffy and Angel alum Charisma Carpenter. She publicly took to social media to support Charisma and others that spoke out against Joss Whedon, and she said, I am brave enough now as a 35-year-old woman. This must, period, be known, period, as a teenager, period, with his not appropriate behavior. Very not appropriate.
And if that's not enough proof they may have hated each other, there's more. Remember how the entire cast of It Ends With Us sided with Blake and publicly supported her after she accused Justin Baldoni of ______________? Well, Michelle stayed completely silent. But here's the thing. Michelle was always known for standing up for her co-stars. She defended them when she believed them.
Michelle was asked, would love to see you release a statement on the Blake drama. And she responded, gosh, I'm busy worrying about real world news and families who have no home anymore from the LA fires. But you do you.
But guess what Michelle had to say when asked about Blake Lively's allegations of SH? Let's just say she did not stand up for her Gossip Girl co-star. At all.
If they were friends, that could have been an opportunity for Michelle to support the Beanie aficionado, but she didn't. It could be that Michelle did not believe her former co-star, and she was not one that was afraid to speak out publicly.
I don't know about you, but Michelle's silence spoke volumes.
Don, listen to me. Listen. I love you. I will always love you. Don, the hardest thing in this world is to live in it. Be brave. Live. For me.
I'm not crying. You're crying. Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie was my biggest supporter. I'm extremely grateful for the experience.
But anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this whole public disaster, because that's exactly what Blake's tribute to Michelle has turned into, yet another PR nightmare. Did Blake have a hidden agenda, or was she actually being sincere? I'll let you guys decide. But moving on to the other tributes. Before we get to Michelle's Gossip Girl co-stars, I have to mention two tributes that literally made me cry. Sarah Michelle Gellar. On Instagram, the Buffy star shared several emotional photos of herself and Michelle together, captioning them. Michelle, listen to me. Listen. I love you. I will always love you. The hardest thing in this world is to live in it. I will be brave. I will live for you. Michelle played Buffy's younger sister, Dawn, and over the years, she and Sarah grew incredibly close. But what really hit home? Sarah's words aren't just a tribute. They are a direct reference to their emotional final scene together on the show.
Yes, I loved making the movie.
Why was it so much fun?
Well, truthfully, because you were there, and even before that I knew you were going to be Gully in this movie. Yeah. You are one of my favorite actresses. I've seen you in League of Their Own and Flintstones.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
You're one of my favorite actresses.
After starring together in Harriet the Spy when Michelle was just 10 years old, Rosie and Michelle remained close throughout the years. 22. In a short yet deeply moving tribute, Rosie O'Donnell simply said, I loved her very much. She struggled these last few years. I wish I could have helped. Several of Michelle's Gossip Girl co-stars also shared heartfelt tributes in her memory. Chase Crawford. best known as Nate Archibald, Chase took to Instagram to share some never-before-seen behind-the-scenes photos with Michelle. Honoring his former co-star, he wrote, "Michelle was truly one of a kind. I remember her first day on set. She walked in and owned it. She was a force of nature, unapologetically funny, and magnetic. Remembering those years with a big smile. Just a terrible loss. Love you." Ed Westwick. Actor and musician Ed Westwick, famous for his role as Chuck Bass, also posted a touching tribute. On his Instagram stories, he shared a throwback photo of Michelle, captioned, "So sad to hear of the passing of Michelle Trachtenberg. Sending prayers." Taylor Momsen. A multi-talented artist, singer, model, and actress, Taylor played Jenny Humphrey on Gossip Girl. Her tribute made it clear that their friendship ran deep. On Instagram, Taylor wrote, "In shock. When I met this girl 17 years ago, I knew we'd be friends. She was smart and sassy, bold and sensitive, funny as _________, and filled with fire. She was simply awesome. I'll miss our late-night calls that no one should ever hear but us. She was always in my corner, always there for me, right or wrong. I will miss you every day, my love." But the tributes didn't end there. Michelle's Buffy co-stars also shared their sorrow. James Masters. James, who played William Spike Pratt on Buffy, expressed his grief on Instagram. "My heart is heavy today. We've lost a beautiful soul. Michelle was fiercely intelligent, howlingly funny, and immensely talented. She left this world far too soon, and so many of us loved her dearly. My heart goes out to her family, who are good people and now suffering the greatest loss imaginable. I hope everyone allows them the space to heal during this incredibly difficult time. Godspeed, Michelle. You are missed." Alison Hannigan. Known for her comedic roles and as Buffy's beloved Willow Rosenberg, Alison also shared her sorrow. "I am deeply saddened by Michelle's passing. She brought such a loving energy to the set of Buffy. My thoughts are with Michelle's family and friends." David Boreanaz. Another Buffy alum, David kept his tribute short and sincere. On his Instagram story, he simply wrote, "So very sad, horrible news. Rip and prayers to her and her family. As for me, all my love and condolences to her friends and family. No words can ease this pain. Rest in peace, Michelle. Gone, but never forgotten. The world lost a bright star. If you have any words to share in her memory, feel free to leave your love in the comments below."